So the problem with a belief is that if you have belief, then naturally, organically, there is the swing, the other side of the coin, the experience of its opposite, which is doubt. And so this is the problem, that living a life from a place of, working on your beliefs and trying to change your beliefs. This is the problem with that approach. And I want to use a really simple analogy. I want you to imagine that you have a lottery ticket and just go into the feeling of like, I believe this is the winning ticket. Right? From that place, there may be like the hope that comes in with it. There may be like an expanded feeling when you feel it. I believe this is the winning ticket, right? It might feel kind of good, but what you may also be able to sense and just see for yourself, this is a kind of a little thought experiment here. See for yourself what else is present for you, and you may find that even if you have this sense of I believe this is the winning ticket, that there's a little bit of doubt, a little bit of a swing to the other side. Oh, but what if it's not? What if it isn't? Maybe it's not, right? It's like this kind of seesaw pendulum swing between belief and doubt. And what we're seeing there is that, by nature, inherently within belief is the capacity for doubt in the belief. And so what's outside of that? How do we move out of that swing? Because if we live in that swing, all that's going to happen is sometimes we're going to live in a belief that feels really good to this being, and other times we're going to live in a belief or a disbelief that perhaps doesn't feel so good to this being, and all we're going to do is be trying to swing. We're going to always be trying to get back here. We're going to always be trying to believe. It's the holy grail becomes belief, and if we can just believe enough, then it will be true. But we can never believe enough because this swing exists. And so coming back to the lottery ticket analogy, and now I want you to imagine that you have a lottery ticket and you know that it's the winning ticket. It's been confirmed. There is no question. So when you know something, this doesn't exist. You don't go from knowing to not knowing, right? It doesn't exist there. There is just knowing, no swing in knowing. And so we get to, use this analogy of the lottery ticket, but we get to expand it out into our lives, into the different areas. We get to see how that might impact how we approach the world. And if we come from a place of knowing instead of belief, there's so much more power there. There's so much more sustainability there, because we're not constantly trying to balance the pendulum swinging. And you can see this pendulum swing in anything, right? This pendulum swing exists: heaven and hell, good and bad, moral and immoral, ethical and unethical. It exists on so many levels. And this is another reason why, the idea of whether the belief in whether you're good enough is another issue, right? Because if it exists that you can be good enough, then it also exists that you cannot be good enough, and the swing happens, right? So we want to come outside of this duality, of this swing. And if we just step back from that and we go, well, what do we know, right? Knowing is the only thing that I've found so far, and there may be more, who knows, but knowing is the only thing so far that I've found not to have this dual inherent within it. And so if we come from knowing, we can ask, well, what do we know? What do we know? You know, and now as I've inquired into this, all I know for sure is this. All I know for sure is what's here. Any idea about the past or the future, it is the swing, right? Future, past, past, future. You know, if we have one, we have the other. And so we can just ask ourselves, what do we know? What do we know? And we usually just know what's in front of us and what's here. And what we know really is only our experiencing, it's only our sense of awareness. It's the only thing that stays the same. If you think about what stays the same, right? Your body does not stay the same. You don't have the same body you had as when you were 5 years old. Beliefs, they don't stay the same, so we can't possibly know them because they swing. Thoughts, they don't stay the same, they change all the time. Sensation changes all the time. Sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're cold. So we can't know anything truly that has an opposite. And so the only thing you really know is that sense of you that has never changed, right? The sense of you that has always remained the same. And you can spend some time yourself inquiring into what that is. What is it that has always been the same? It's just like just a sense, really. It's like a sense of like awareness. And so awareness is the only thing you really know. So then awareness is the only thing that's really true. And within that is a lot of joy. And it's really simple, but it really goes against this. If we live in this, we don't get this. What I'm talking about, this wholeness is not understood by the mind, because the mind lives in here, and so it's not understood here. It's an intuitive knowing. You know, it's an intuitive sense. Lots of love.